Hey guys, it is me, Sky again, and I am here with a new video for you guys, a new technology review actually, and I'm really excited to get into this one because I am going over today something called the eSight glasses, which aren't really well known yet. I'm really excited to spread the word about them because they are an amazing product and I think that a lot of people will find them helpful. So just a quick overview, the eSights are glasses that are digital and have a camera built into them. They rest on your forehead and they're able to zoom in and see things far away, and they're able to see things closer up. So not only would you be able to read something like a computer screen or a book with them, but you would also be able to read something like a street sign or even see the stage of a play and see what's going on there. You can see faces, all sorts of really cool things. They really are, to me, a combination of technologies that are out all in one device, so they're really good for that. They are a little bit more pricey, I will say, actually quite a bit more pricey, but we're hoping as time goes on that price will drop down to something a bit more manageable. But today all I wanted to do with you guys is go over what the eSight are, how they work, and just give you an overview of the basic functions, okay? So without further ado, let's get into it. These are the eSights. Now, I'm gonna actually take them out of the package here, but I thought just first and foremost, I'd show you that they do come with this kind of nifty carrying case, and it has a clip on the back here that is able to clip onto your belt loop or something if you want it to, or onto a purse. It also has a strap on it, and that is meant to either go over your shoulder or go around your waist. I like to carry it around my waist. A lot of people like to carry it around their shoulder. But the point of this case is that you can't use them all the time, and you do need a place to store them. Here are the actual glasses. This is where the camera is actually built in. You're gonna see all sorts of stuff here that help with the focusing and the camera. And of course, these aren't actually made for a lot. I think they're just made to kind of look like glasses. But the camera is what you're seeing through. I think that these are just for the aesthetics of it. But you're gonna take this and wear it actually on your forehead. I'll show you that in a second. But you're going to see inside here there is actual glasses. Now, if you have prescription, a lot of legally blind people don't, as you know, because it's usually a problem with their retina or the inner organisms of their eye, and it's not something that can be corrected with light correction. But if you do have a prescription, it would be put in here. If you don't have a prescription like me, then they're just going to give you a basic pair of frames just so you have something in there. So these are all connected with magnets. This strap here is adjustable, and this is the forehead strap, goes around your forehead. It's very important these rest comfortably on your head, and they need to be adjusted individually for each person because you don't want these to put any strain on your head. You don't want to get a headache. And if they're resting properly, then you shouldn't be having much issue with them in terms of them wrapping around your head and causing pressure. They should feel, when they're on, comfortable. If you feel pressure on your eyes or on the bridge of your nose, then it means that they're not properly fitted. So that's something very important about these. So apart from the glasses part of the eSight, you actually have this big control panel, as I'm sure you saw before. And this is both where the battery is located and where all your controls are and all the functions that you can get to are. So the battery is actually in here. To get to it, you just slide off this case, and there's the battery right inside there. The eSights come with 2 batteries, and they last a few hours each, about 4, and they of course are wireless. You can charge them, and then you can also switch out the batteries anytime you want. You just pull on this tag right here and the battery can come right out. So that's really cool because that gives you pretty much the whole day of wireless, which is really nice. It's also suggested that you plug this into a power outlet when you have the chance, just because you don't want it dying on you and not having an extra battery or not having a place to plug it in. So there's a little outlet right at the back here. And this is of course going to come with a charger and everything. It's easy, just plug it to the wall and plug it into here. There's also other things on the back. As you've seen, there's HDMI in and HDMI out, and I'll go over that in a second. There's also a spot here that is used to actually plug into a monitor, and that's really just used for when the developers need to see what is being seen through the eSight glasses, but it's usually not used by us who are actually the clients. That is the basic overview of the back here. Now, the most important part of the eSights is going to be this control panel right here. And this is how we access the eSight, this is how we make it work, this is how we make adjustments. So I refer to these specifically. This would be the left or large dial, this would be the right or small dial. And then these buttons here, you're gonna have north, east, south, and west buttons. And of course then you have your middle button. The middle button is raised, so it's very tactile. You can feel that to kind of get a sense of what is happening. So now I'm going to go over what exactly these glasses can do, what each button does, and I'm going to actually be wearing these while I give the presentation just so I can describe what I'm seeing. To put these on, they should wrap around your head, and they should be generally tight. But as I said, they shouldn't be putting pressure on your forehead or anything like that. So you just wrap them right around, let them rest on the bridge of your head, sort of like this. And there we go. So right now, I can feel a little bit of pressure on my forehead, but there's nothing on the bridge of my nose. I can feel the nose piece, but it's not pressing down on my nose at all. That's exactly what we want. To turn the eSight on, you're going to see at the very side here, there is a little switch. You're going to push that down, and that turns it on. And it does take a few seconds to start up. So first thing you're going to see is a little black box pop up, and it's just going to say eSight. That disappears pretty quick, and then you have your field of vision. So to describe what I see, I can see that the actual frames are around my field of vision, and then I can see outside of the glasses too. All the way around, more at the bottom than anything else. And then in the very middle of my vision, there is the screen, or what the eSight is viewing. And this is what the camera's seeing, and this is what I can zoom in and out, change the contrast and colors of, all that fun stuff. So now I'm going to take this beautiful box here, and we're going to get into what exactly the glasses can do. So the eSight starts out on a mode called Classic Mode, and this is mostly what you're going to be using when you're zooming in and out to see things. So also what you start on is the focus mode. These glasses are able to, as I said, focus long distance and short distance, and you're going to have modes that help with that. It starts on the autofocus mode, and the autofocus mode is made to help you see both near and far, but it might have a bit of issues seeing really far, and so that's when you would change to something called far distance mode, or it might be focusing in a way that you don't like, so you could also turn it off of autofocus and focus it by yourself. So first and foremost, you're going to want to know how to make the camera move in and out. That would actually be the big knob right here. The more you turn the knob, the more you're going to zoom in one way or the other. It does have a pretty great zoom. And again, it will zoom in on both near and far things and focus on them, so you don't have to worry about one or the other thing going blurry. It's really, really nice for both screen reading and for far distance viewing. Next, we have this little knob, what I like to call the small right knob. And this little knob is what's going to change your contrast. A lot of times, devices like this have issues with contrast, so this knob is going to help things become a lot more clear if the glasses are doing something funny or getting fuzzy. So you just want to turn it either one way or the other, and it's going to adjust your contrast to something that works for you, which is very nice. Now, if you press down on this little knob, you actually have a few color options that you can scroll through. And yeah, these color options are just for the camera in general, for everything you're looking at. So you have, I believe, white on black, black on white, and then your normal color mode, and then there's a few others I can't actually tell you because, as you guys know, I can't see color, but there's 4 or 5 different modes that you can go through. And whichever works best for you, especially when you're reading, do use it because it's going to be very helpful. But you can keep clicking down on this, go to the color mode that you like, and then adjust the contrast to what works for you, and then you're all set in terms of reading. So very, very helpful there. Now we're going to get to the buttons, the north, east, south, west buttons, and the middle button. This middle button is going to take a picture of what you're viewing. For instance, if you just see something you think is cool, you want to take a picture, or you see a front board and you want to save all those notes, this middle button is your guy. It's very, very helpful, and it's so cool to just take a picture automatically without having to pull out a phone or something. And yes, you will be able to access those pictures and zoom in on them, which I will touch on in a little bit. Now, next up, remember how I was talking about the different focus modes, autofocus, near viewing mode, far viewing mode, all that great stuff? That is the north button. So you're going to click on it, and since you start on autofocus, the next thing that's going to pop up in a little black box on the screen if you press it is a big AF crossed out. That means that autofocus is off and you would have to focus this by yourself. If you click the north button again, you're going to see what looks like two little triangles that are light in a dark box. That means that it's on far distance mode. That's when your glasses are going to go blurry if you are trying to view things only a few feet away or closer. But if you're unable to see things far away, then this is the mode for you. And then if I click it one more time, it just says a big AF in the box. That means that we're again on autofocus. So those are our three focus modes. So next I'm gonna go over the east and west buttons, and these buttons are actually brightness. Now, with the new version of the eSights, because the software updates very often, right now they have a function where the brightness autofocuses by itself in different amounts of lighting, and personally not my favorite that it does that, because I'm finding it very hard with my light sensitivity, and even turning it down, sometimes the focus mode does go a little crazy with light. There is a way to help fix that, but nothing that has worked really well for me yet. Luckily for me, the staff that works on these are absolutely incredible, and they will work with you and they will work on the software. If there is an issue, they will help you fix it, which is really nice because these are a bit pricey, and thank goodness that they're so helpful and their customer service is amazing, and they will work on programming something that helps. When you get these glasses, they have a warranty for life, and you get free software updates. So anyway, I believe the east button is for lower lighting and the west button is for higher lighting. Now we get to the south button at the very bottom. I bet everyone will love this when they first start messing with these. It is called the home button. You click this button and you're going to go back to the original settings that these glasses started on. Oh, thank goodness, because you can really get lost in managing the different settings and everything. If you have zoomed in way too much, or if you have some crazy color contrast things going on, all you need to do is hit the home button and then work from there. Thank goodness, you'll never get totally lost with these. Yeah, that is the basic functions of the classic mode, which is the mode that you are going to be using most often, I'm guessing. But there are a few other modes you can get into, so we're going to go over that really quick. To get into another mode, you're going to want to press down on the large knob or the left knob and press down on the south button at the same time. What you see is there's a little black box that pops up again on the screen. It's going to say EXT, standing for extra. This is where we get to go into all of our beautiful settings on here. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I will tell you that this is where you can manage photos that you've taken. This is where you can mess with the brightness, turn things up and down. You can do all sorts of stuff in the extra mode. Mostly what I like to do is to go and manage my pictures, and every once in a while I will go and turn down the brightness in this mode. So this mode, the buttons work a little differently. First and foremost, you're going to have your south button again be the home button. You're going to have your east button taking pictures and your west button getting out of that picture that you've taken. And you're going to have your north button be, again, your different focus levels. It's really important to note here that things are a little different because What this mode is meant to do is, of course, go into all your extras and manage all your settings and stuff like that. The instant that you press the middle raised tactile button, you're going to get into your menus. Now, once we're in these menus, we want to press the knob, which would be guess, go forward, or we can turn the knob to go to different menus. So for instance, I can turn it and I see at the bottom it flashes pics, or at the bottom it flashes settings. And if I click this knob, I will go into settings. I see a display, and if I turn it, I see an access, and if I turn it, I see a system. If I click the knob again, I'd go deeper into that, if it makes sense. So to click the big knob is to go forward in these settings, and to turn the big knob is to go through these settings. So it's pretty easy. It's just a click for yes, turn for going through, and if you want to go back, then you're going to want to press this middle button again. Middle button is back. That's how you're going to view the pictures on here, is by going into this second extra mode, clicking on the middle raised tactile button, and then scrolling until you see the pics at the bottom of your screen, the word pics, and then clicking the wheel and getting into the pictures, and then scrolling through the pictures, clicking the picture you want to see, etc, etc. Now, something extra I can note, because I could just go on forever about these, they have so many cool features, but if you want to see these pictures, you can. You just have to slide the card out of this device here, which you'll find it if you take the batteries out, you'll find the card in here. And you just slip it into your computer and it should read that, and you should be able to access all of those pictures, copy them onto your computer, do whatever you want with them. But yes, this will let you take the pictures off, which is very nice. Now I'm gonna go to the next mode by, again, I know there's a lot to remember, but by holding down the left knob and pressing the south button together. The next thing that flashes is something called read. This mode will allow you to take a picture and then move your head, and where you move your head, you'll move to on the page or picture, and you can zoom in on the page or picture. You can take a picture by just pressing the lovely middle tactile button in this mode, and then once you take a picture, you can zoom into it with the large scrolling wheel. When you look around, your view is only going to be able to go as far as that picture, and you can zoom into it and then look around. So I know the concept is kind of hard to understand, but think about it as you create a picture and then all you have is the picture. You can zoom in on the picture, and wherever you look is going to still be in that picture. It is really, really nice for viewing words, really small print, because you're not going to be distracted by movement or by things in the background, because all you have to look at is that picture, and you can read it just by moving your head. The picture in real life isn't going to move because, of course, you have a picture of it in the glasses. So the last mode I'm going to talk about is going to be called knobs, and once again, to get to it, we just press down the left wheel and our south button. What knobs is, really quick, it's exactly like reading mode, except that when you take the picture, you're going to use both of these knobs. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. You're going to use both of these knobs here to scroll up and down and left and right. And so instead of moving your head to view the picture, you're going to move the knobs to view the picture. To zoom in and out when you're using the knobs mode, when you're in that picture, it's going to be your east and west buttons while the picture has been taken and you are using the knobs to navigate. Again, to get out of that picture, you just want to press the middle button. That's same as the reading mode. The middle button will take the picture and it will get you out of the picture. So that is very important to note. And here we are. I think I've really touched on pretty much everything that these glasses can do in a very quick video, and I'm so sorry. I know that there's tons and tons of functions, but I'm going to describe how they've helped me. I find them helpful for reading computer screens, for reading documents or books at a reasonable level, and so my posture isn't messed up, reading long distance or viewing long distance things in moderate lighting, for viewing people's faces. One more thing that I actually haven't touched on with these. So I know I've explained the reading modes and the knob modes, and I know I showed you at the beginning of the video that there is an HDMI in and an HDMI out. If you plug the HDMI into your computer, because your computer should have an HDMI port too, then these will connect to your computer, and it will be like I said with the reading mode, in that you are going to be working on your computer, but your screen of your computer is going to be shown in these glasses. And when you move your head, you're just going to be moving around what would be on the screen of your computer. No, there's no background or real life things going on. All you're seeing is your computer. You can zoom in on your computer, you can change the color modes on your computer, all with these glasses, and all you have to do to see is to move your head. So that is really incredible and really, really helpful. Of course, you can also view the computer just by using the normal classic mode and just looking at it as you normally would. But of course, things are a little more bouncy this way, and you will be able to move your head and see things like your walls and stuff like that. Whereas the computer mode is just for the computer and focuses very nicely. You can also plug these into a TV screen, but if you do that, you need to get a cable splitter if you're watching with other people, just because the feed that's supposed to be on the screen will be fed into these glasses. You will be able to see it on the glasses, but the screen won't be showing anything unless you have a splitter to split the HDMI input. So what do I think of these personally? They're really great. They combined lots of technology into one. They work well. The learning curve is huge, absolutely huge. A lot of people get them and I'm even a little guilty of this, they don't use them as much as they should. People who are really veterans of these glasses are able to wear them for upwards of 10 hours a day with little to no problem at all in terms of eye strain and headaches. They've just really changed the way they've done things. They've helped them to work. They've helped them in their jobs and their careers. They have been really, really amazing. And it's really important to stick with these and to do exercises because your eye muscles are being used in ways they haven't. So when you first get them, it is a bit of a shock for your eyes to adjust to what these can do. So final comment with these, they're helpful, they're useful, they're excellent for specific tasks. They're not the end-all be-all in terms of receiving full vision again, but they are much, much, much better than what our vision already is. If you're legally blind, these will help a lot, especially in school. Let's just hope that the price goes down a little bit, but I do love them. They are so helpful, and I really look forward to describing in the future how these are helping me in school. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful to you, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.